Hello everyone, my name is Cameron. Welcome back to the channel, and today we are doing the WWE Backlash 2020 predictions. Now, keep in mind, I have not finished NXT from this past Wednesday, so I haven't really seen the aftermath of TakeOver in Your House, and I have not watched the most recent SmackDown episode, although I do know that there were no matches added onto the card. As far as I know, there are still no new matches added to the card, and it's only the 7 matches that have been scheduled for it over the past, month or so of build. Which are the greatest wrestling match ever, Edge versus Randy Orton, the WWE Championship match, Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley, with, I'm assuming, MVP in his corner, maybe Lana, who knows, the Universal Championship Handicap match, or Handicap Match, as I fucking wrote it by accident, Handicap match of Braun Strowman versus The Miz and John Morrison, the men's singles match between Jeff Hardy and Sheamus, the women's tag team championship triple threat match between the champions Sasha and Bayley, the challengers Bliss and Cross, and the Iconics, and the United States Championship match of Apollo Crews versus Andrade. We have a few different predictions, of stuff that we think could happen during the pay-per-view or after the pay-per-view. We are kind of maybe thinking, just making sure nothing's changed match-wise, like stipulation or anything like that. Yeah, okay. So, during the, during the takeover from last week, there is a pre-tape match. Edge versus Orton is once again pre-tape, much like it was at WrestleMania, meaning it might be a little bit more theatrical, cinematic. If you don't really like the cinematic matches, that's fine. I enjoy them. I love them. But yeah, all the matches are normal matches, so there's nothing new or special, really, on the card. It's just the same stuff that's already been. The 2-on-1 handicap match, the triple threat tag team match being really the only two standouts of mostly just singles matches. Seriously, there's not even a tag team championship match on here besides the women's titles, which is a little annoying. And besides really the 2-on-1 handicap match, there's not really anything that's too insane, stipulation-wise, which is kind of upsetting. I mean, the triple threat tag team match is nice, but they don't do those the way I like them doing them. I feel like it should be all three, the way the game, 2K Games does it, is it's 3 people in the ring at a time, and you tag your own partner. That makes sense to me. That way makes sense to me. Having it to where you tag anyone doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But on with the predictions. For the Edge and Orton greatest wrestling match ever, me and Jesse are both taking Edge. We've both predicted Edge. Apparently, this is a quote-unquote stipulation that Paul Heyman came up with, because you could say, oh yeah, the wrestling match is a stipulation rather than an actual, what they're actually doing. So it's kind of that. Even though Paul Heyman is, at this point, at time of recording, no longer in charge of Raw, and Bruce Pritchard is now manning the teams of both. He's heading the teams of both Raw and SmackDown. Poor brother love. In the WWE Championship match, we both taken Drew McIntyre. Neither of us really likes Bobby Lashley all that much, and it mostly comes down to the fact that he's just kind of bland, and it's hard to watch his matches. It's not as enjoyable for us to watch his matches. So I'm kind of excited for this match, just to watch Bobby Lashley fail to win a championship, I guess. They could change it. They could have changed it on the fly, but to take away all of Drew's momentum after Mania and just have him lose this match would be so fucking pointless. Next, we have the Handicap Universal Championship match. We are both taking Braun Strowman. Not that we like Braun Strowman. We despise Braun Strowman. We both actually really don't like Braun Strowman. But we both feel like The Fiend is probably going to make an appearance to set up. Here's the problem. SummerSlam's not for another 2 months, which would be a year after The Fiend's debut. The problem is they'd have to then drag this feud out. People want this match. You can't say people don't want The Fiend versus Braun Strowman. We do. So we'd have to wait a whole nother month. We'd have to go past July's pay-per-view into August to get the SummerSlam to watch The Fiend versus Braun Strowman. And I hope that by that point they're still finding a way to make it entertaining. But, like, what are they going to do in July if they're going to have The Fiend pop up, tomorrow night or tonight for you guys, because this is past 12 a.m. and I'm going to be uploading this as I sleep. It's tough to really think. Are they going to have The Fiend debut tonight? Or come out tonight to attack Braun after the match? Or what are they going to do? I wouldn't mind it if they, personally waited until July and had The Fiend pop up and then had them face at SummerSlam. But if they have him come out tonight, he'd have to face him in July, or else it's going to just kind of look pointless. So it's kind of like, I want him to come out tonight, but I don't at the same time. Also, I don't know if Bray is currently traveling or doing anything for the shows. We haven't seen Firefly Funhouse in a while, and since he lost to Braun, and I'm kind of like, him and JoJo did just have another kid, so maybe he's taking time off to spend with his kid. I really don't know, but I do know that JoJo and him just had their second kid not too long ago, so congrats to them. So I kind of have no idea if they're going to have him pop up anytime soon, or if they're going to give him some time off until, he wants to come back. I don't know. It's tough to really say with the current landscape of the wrestling world. So next, we have the Raw Women's Championship match. We have both taken Asuka over Nia Jax for this. Because, obviously, neither of us likes Nia Jax. I think I skipped over this one when I was going over the match card. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, we've both taken Asuka. I don't like Nia Jax very much. Neither does Jesse. And she hurt Kairi Sane a few weeks ago. And it's like, there's people who are like, oh, she doesn't botch all the time. But she literally split Kairi Sane's head open. You can see where she split it open. If you've seen the picture, it's fucking gruesome looking. But it's like, you can't really say that she deserves a championship if she's still doing this in 2020. This is 3-4 years into her career now, and she's still botching a lot of moves. And I mean, I'm not saying that there's not other superstars who are further into their careers who don't botch moves. I mean, let's be honest. Brie Bella fucking broke Liv Morgan's face and gave her a concussion in a match, and then Liv continued to wrestle said match. But when you look at Nia's track record, she's hurt so many fucking people. I know that led to Becky getting holy shit levels of fucking crowd support and fans just fucking going crazy for it. But it still shouldn't have happened in the first place, of Nia busting her face open like that. That was not meant to have happened. And you're looking at Nia and you're like, dude, she's such an unsafe worker. She cut Kairi Sane's head open. She busted Becky Lynch's nose. She's done so much botchy shit, and it's such a bad situation. I'm not saying there's not other wrestlers who botch. There's tons of wrestlers who botch. I'm not saying there's not. But Nia's track record over the past 4 years has not looked well for her at all. And there's people who defend her, and I'm sorry, I can't be one of those people. I'm not one of those people who can just sit there and defend her as a wrestler, because I don't think she's a good wrestler. It's just how it is. I don't think she's very good on the mic either, and I don't think she's very entertaining. The only reason she still has her spot, and I'm saying this loud and fucking clear, is because she's related to The Rock. That is the only reason she has the spot she's in, and she's going for the championship right now instead of Shayna Baszler. And I definitely think it should have been Shayna who won that triple threat, not Nia. But that's just me. Next, on to the men's singles match between Jeff Hardy and Sheamus. We have both taken Jeff Hardy. It seems like they're trying to give him a decent push now he's coming back. Especially because, Damascus, Matt Hardy, is being pushed pretty fucking heavily over in AEW. So if they're not pushing Jeff here, it's just going to be difficult for them to really not focus on the fact that, hey, Matt Hardy's in a fucking high-profile spot over in the other company. And cheeky pokes at W. Yeah. They're definitely probably going to have Hardy win this match so they can kind of give him a big push. Next, we have the triple threat tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. We have both taken Bayley and Sasha because we know the story is probably going to play out. These titles have been used as a pivot point for their feuds before. I think it's going to be that way again. Neither of us want Bayley and Sasha to be champions. We don't think Bliss and Cross should have lost the championships, but WWE stupid. But they put them on Bayley and Sasha. They set up this triple threat tag team match. So I think what's probably going to happen, and Jesse agrees with me on this, is most likely it's a very close match to Bayley and or Sasha losing the titles from one of the teams, probably the Iconics, because it makes the most sense that because Bliss and Cross just lost the titles, and they don't really need the titles to be relevant and to be entertaining. Like, they're great without the titles on them. So what's probably going to happen is this. This is the timeline me and Jesse are trying to think about, and we think this is what's going to happen. Bayley and Sasha win tonight, but a lot of close calls start to sow the seeds of this disdain between the two of them. July pay-per-view, whatever ends up being, maybe Battleground. I don't fucking know. We'll just say Battleground because it's the first one popped in my head. They go into it against the Iconics in a 2-on-2 match. It's normal, straightforward tag team match. One of them probably Bayley. Probably Bayley is going to lose the match for them. Still in her SmackDown title reign as well. She's not just going to be tag team champion. She's still going to have the SmackDown Women's Championship. And here's how I'm thinking it's going to happen. She's going to have a singles match that night. She's going to win that before the tag team title match. And then the tag team title match is going to happen. She's going to be exhausted, and she's going to end up losing the match for her and Sasha. Sasha is then going to lose it on Bayley because, let's be honest, Sasha as a heel is a lot better than Bayley as a heel. No offense, Bayley. I love you as a heel. You're doing great. But Sasha as a heel is a lot better. Like, I feel like it fits more for Sasha to be a heel in this feud. I don't know why. It just sounds better. Or keep them both heel. I don't fucking care. But Sasha turns on Bayley, attacks her post-match, and sets up a women's championship match at SummerSlam that Sasha will probably end up winning, very sadly. Just saying that right now. I'm not too into the idea of Sasha becoming SmackDown Women's Champion, because I think that would be the third Grand Slam champion now, correct? Bayley, Asuka, yeah, that would be the third. Bayley, Asuka, and Sasha. So Sasha would make the third Women's Grand Slam champion by becoming SmackDown Women's Champion at SummerSlam, which is most likely the way I think it's going to go. But yeah, I think that's kind of how it's going to play out. Is they're going to win at Backlash by the skin of their teeth. It's going to sow a little bit of seeds of hate. Then the July pay-per-view is going to come up, and Bayley's going to have to defend 2 different titles in the same night. And she's going to lose the Women's Tag Team Championship match for her and Sasha. Sasha's going to turn, attacking Bayley. And then at SummerSlam, Bayley's going to probably lose the Women's Championship to Sasha, is my best guess. And maybe the month after, or whatever the September pay-per-view ends up being, I don't know what it's going to be because their fucking schedule's so whack now and you don't really know what the pay-per-views are going to be anymore. But whatever the September pay-per-view is, what is September normally? I don't fucking remember what September normally is. September pay-per-view happens, Sasha and Bayley have a blow-off match, and then Sasha goes to face somebody else. Tamina, maybe? I don't fucking know anymore. But yeah, that's where I think it's going to go over the next few months for the Women's Tag Team Championships. And I mean, that's going to get the Iconics a second title reign, which is no big deal. But it'd be a big thing because they did beat Sasha and Bayley and the other tag teams at WrestleMania last year. So, I mean, it kind of fits if they beat Bayley and Sasha again. Even though they did not pin Bayley and Sasha in that WrestleMania match, as far as I remember. And finally, we have the United States Championship match in which we've both taken Andrade to win the title. Unless they turn Apollo heel in this match, I don't think he's retaining. I want to like Apollo. Like, don't get me wrong, I want to like Apollo. He's got the athleticism. He's great in the ring. He's got athleticism. That's about all I can come up with. He's like Cedric Alexander. Great in the ring. He's got a lot of athleticism. Does a lot of crazy shit. Same with Ricochet. But the problem that all three of those men have is no charisma. None. Like, they're all charisma vacuums. Like, Ricochet can cut a decent promo every once in a while. But Cedric and Apollo can't really cut a promo to save their lives. Cedric's good in, like, funny spots. Like, when he was the trash guy, when he was the garbage man, he was fucking hilarious. You know, he did really good when he was the garbage man in that match with Roman. That was great. He can do funny spots like that fucking awesomely. However, the problem is when he has to cut promos, same with Apollo, same with Ricochet, it's just they just sound boring, man. Like, I don't want to say they sound boring, but they sound boring. So, like, Apollo needs to turn heel. He's got the heel beard already. He's already, like, most of the way there. He's great in the ring. He's really athletic. He's got the beard. They just need to go for it and turn him, because he's going to be so much more enjoyable now. If he's heel, he's going to be a lot more enjoyable, is my personal opinion. I don't know if they'll turn him heel, and if they don't, I feel like they should just let Andrade get the title back. It wouldn't be the first time they've done a switch like that, where it's been, oh, this guy won it, and then right after, somebody else, the guy who he beats him and gets it back. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that, but, you know, I guess it could go either way, and we'll see how it goes. So let me know what your guys' predictions are down in the comments below, and I will try to remember to put these on my Twitter as well. I think I remember to do takeovers predictions on my Twitter. I can't remember. But I will try to get them all onto Twitter so you guys can check them out there. Stay golden. Peace.